Breaking developments right now in the alleged drone strike on the Kremlin on Wednesday. Russia now blaming the U.S. The White House quickly denying those accusations this morning for good reason. Russia first accused Ukraine, saying Kyiv was trying to assassinate President Vladimir Putin. But they're saying that the U.S. was the one directing the Ukraine to attack the Kremlin. Sure. A spokesperson for President Vladimir Zelensky calling it, quote, a trick to be expected from our opponents. We want to introduce you to a woman who once served as State Department spokesperson under the Trump administration. Morgan Ortagus is here with me right now. What do we make of this? I mean, as soon as you hear it, it sounds like a joke.
It's theatrics. Listen, you and I are in television. This was a made-for-TV moment, these drones, right? And they suddenly, they fly over the Kremlin and they explode over the Russian flag. How convenient, right? So it was clearly produced for television. The Biden administration they've already cast doubt on it. They're still trying to figure out what the Russians have done exactly. For me, I think it's laughable. We know that the United States was not behind this, and I know they're trying to say it. First of all, the Kremlin is a massive complex. So if you were going to actually fly drones or any type of aircraft over the Kremlin to kill Putin, you'd need a lot more than 2 drones, number one. And number two, what would that say about Russian air defenses if you could actually get 2 drones that close to the Kremlin? So it's nothing more than a made-for-TV moment that we should laugh off. Unfortunately, we can't laugh it off in the sense of what is Putin trying to get out of this? So there will be, thousands of innocent Russians who believe his propaganda. And so what I worry more is what is he trying to do with this? What type of escalation will he try to pursue, not only against the Ukrainians, but maybe even against NATO or United States interests?
But you've met with Putin in your previous role.
Yeah.
What would you say is a big takeaway in discerning his character, in discerning his personality and his motivation for actually displaying propaganda like this?
Yeah, I was with the last Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, when we were in Sochi in the summer of 2019, meeting with Putin. We met with the Foreign Minister Lavrov on many occasions. And it's hard to sit down to these people because when you think about what Putin has done in Ukraine, right, he has ordered the killing, rape, and torture of thousands of Ukrainians. This is a guy that bombs maternity hospitals, right? This is a guy who has, on his orders, they've kidnapped thousands of Ukrainian children, possibly. We don't know the exact numbers, but clearly this is an evil, maniacal person. And so, from the perspective of the current Biden administration, the current Secretary of State, they have to go into these same meeting rooms, with Putin and Lavrov, as we did during the Trump administration, and deal with people, as I said, who are willing to knowingly bomb maternity wards. So it's hard to have dialogue, and I think you can only negotiate with them from a position of strength. So I would encourage President Biden and Secretary Blinken and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, don't be afraid of American strength, because that is the only thing that Putin understands.
Thank you, Morgan, for being with us. And we appreciate all your perspective, having been there. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.